Starting live video. All right. We are here on October the 11th, 2018. It's good to have David with us this morning and Deborah on our Zoom. We do a Zoom broadcast along with our YouTube Live and our Facebook Live. And I had somebody log in and ask how they could follow our Bible studies. I was so thrilled. I forgot to look and see where she was from. But anyway, you can friend me on Facebook. It's under my name, Elizabeth Inman. And you can subscribe to the Facebook Live, or you can go to YouTube. Again, the channel is Elizabeth Inman, and you can subscribe and hit the little bell, and it'll notify you when we post a video. Or Zoom, you go to www.zoom.us, and it's meeting ID 702-302-6500. So we try to make it accessible. It's a daily Bible study. We use the one-year daily Bible. This is one version of it. This is the one for women. It's the New Living Translation. Or we use mine's. Oh, yep, yours is like mine. So anyway, though it's the one-year Bible. If you get the one-year Bible, the one that says the one-year Bible, then you're using the same translation, the same reading plan, I should say. It's the New Living Translation. And this whole thing is intended to encourage you to read all the way through the Bible from front cover to back cover in a year's time. And this is our, oh wow, we've just started our 4th year doing this. Oh, hi Heather, good morning, how are you? Hi Dale, you are so faithful, Dale, thank you for joining with us. Eileen, how are you? Good to see you. Hugs to you too, sister. And Rebecca, thanks for joining. Jamie, there's my daughter, Jamie. Courtney and Deborah, and you guys are so awesome. And we're reading in Jeremiah 16 through 18. 16:16 through 18:23. And then we're reading in Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1 through chapter 5, verse 3. And then Psalms 81, 1 through 16, and Proverbs 25, 6 through 8. We occasionally have people ask us where we're at. They don't happen to have the Bible reading plan that we have, and so I sometimes forget to do that. But just a few little tidbits this morning. I had intended to have a song ready. The Thessalonians reminded me of a song. I don't have a device to put it on. All this technology, and I don't have a device to play my song. But anyway, again, I'm in awe of Jeremiah's relationship with his God, with our God. I'm in awe of the things that are spoken sporadically throughout these. You know, I can be running through, and some of it's kind of difficult to read. Some of it's kind of difficult to apply to what's going on in our lives today. And then boom, there will be something. So starting right off in Jeremiah 16, verse 17, God tells him, I am watching them closely, and I see every sin. They cannot hope to hide from me. We talked about this just in the last few days, how, you know, God already knows when we're angry, so why not let him know? I mean, why not tell him you're angry? God already knows what you're hiding. You can't hide anything from God. And here it is, boom, just confirmation for us that I'm watching them closely. I mean, how does it make you feel to know that God's watching you closely? Sees everything you're doing. Everything. Sometimes we don't just stop long enough to think about that. They cannot hope to hide from me. And then verse 19, this is Jeremiah talking to him. Lord, you are my strength and fortress, my refuge in the day of trouble. And then going over to Jeremiah 16. Good morning, Sarah. Going on over to Jeremiah 17. Yeah, 17 verse 7. But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. Now, you know, if you're on here and if you're listening, chances are the reason you're on here and listening is because you love the Lord and you've put your trust in Him. So this is promises. This is the encouragement I get every single day when I take the time to read these. Verse 7, but blessed are those who trust in the Lord. So see, you're blessed. You're blessed. Do you feel like you're blessed? See, it doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. If you're trusting in Him, you're blessed. If you're not trusting in Him, you won't recognize the blessing. It doesn't mean you're not blessed. Blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. They are like trees planted along a riverbank with roots that reach deep into the water. Such trees are not bothered by the heat or worried by the long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit. Boy, David, that's a promise. Never stop producing fruit, even when it doesn't look like it. Even when things don't look the way we thought they should look. If our hope and our confidence is in the Lord, those are promises we can stand on regardless of how it looks. And we don't live by sight, we live by faith. We live by faith, not by sight. And then verse 19, this is what the Lord said to me, Jeremiah says, go, this is something. Go and stand in the gates of Jerusalem, first in the gate where the king goes in and out, and then in each of the other gates. Say to all the people, listen to my warning. Stop carrying on your trade at Jerusalem's gate on the Sabbath day. Do not do your work on the Sabbath, but make it a holy day. Now, when I read this, see, the law has been fulfilled on October the 11th, 2018. We don't have to observe a day for Sabbath. Jesus Christ died to give us Sabbath all the time. So I shared with you guys earlier in the week how God had told me that I had made the need, whether it's the need for finances or the need to know what's going to happen or the need, I had made that my idol. In fact, when I see the word Baal now, the idol Baal, I'm gonna know that He's reminding me not to be worshiping the need. When I am worshiping the need, all I can think about is, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. I don't know what's gonna happen to my kids. How is this ever gonna work out with my ex-husband and the kids? And how is this ever gonna? How is this job ever going? How am I ever going to get away from this boss? How am I ever going to learn this new job I'm getting ready to go do? How am I ever going to make my first sale? How am I ever going to simplify and get ready for the next step of my life? When we do that, we're not in Sabbath rest. And when I read this, that's my reminder. Jesus Christ died to give me a life overflowing to the full, abundant. Jesus died to give me an abundant life. And if I'm laboring and I'm toiling and I'm thinking I have to do it on myself, if I'm working through the Sabbath instead of resting in the Sabbath, these words are for me. He says, listen to my warning. Stop carrying on your trade. Stop doing your work at the gates on the Sabbath. We have Sabbath rest. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, if we have faith to believe that's what Jesus died to give us. Great reminder for me. And then verse 18, chapter 18, verse 1, the Lord gave another message to Jeremiah. He said, go down to the potter's shop and I will speak to you there. And you know, we use this scripture a lot about being the clay on the potter's wheel. But today, reading the actual scriptures reminded me of what really happened. So he said, go down to the potter's shop and I will speak to you there, God told Jeremiah. So I did as he told me, and I found the potter working at his wheel. But the jar he was making did not turn out as he had hoped, so he crushed it into a lump of clay and start it over again. Wonder how many times God's had to crush me and start me over again to mold me into the image that he's wanting to make me into. See, the image that in today's world, after Jesus Christ, that he's wanting to make us into is the image of Christ. The image of Christ is the image that he wants. But how many times has he had to, how many times has he had to, sorry, I'm moving my screen just a little bit. The name of the song is Midnight Cry. Oh, I love your messages. Thank you guys so much. You guys bless my heart. So the song that I wanted to play was Midnight Cry. But anyway, I forget that he crushed it first before he put it back on the wheel to make it into the image of what he wanted. We are the clay. He is the potter. Our whole deal is to allow him to crush us. Allow him. And when I say crush, this is not painful. In the last few days I've shared several things he's correcting me on, and I'm not condemned, and I'm not depressed, and I'm not hurt, and I'm not, he does it all with love. It's tender, loving care is the way he reshapes us into the form he wants us to have. Great reminders today. Verse 18, then the people said, come on, let's plot a way to stop Jeremiah. Let's spread rumors about him and ignore what he says. We just care way too much what other people say. Just way too much. Jeremiah is one of the greatest prophets ever. He will go down in history to the ends of the earth because it's written down in the book of truth about what Jeremiah did. And they lied about him. They spread rumors about him. They tormented him to the point that he cried out to God. And in today's readings, he said, I want you to crush them. I want you to kill their kids. I want you to, you think God can't handle our anger? Mm-hmm. When you have murder in your heart, somebody has hurt your baby, and you have murder in your heart, you think God can't handle you crying out and telling him that? Who better to tell that to than God Almighty? Anyway, Cindy, I've told my husband I want Midnight Cry played at my funeral too. I'm glad it was at your daddy's funeral. Hi, Ashley. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. Ashley's on, Carrie.
Ashley Reynolds?
Yeah, Reynolds. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Oh.
And then the reason I wanted to play that was the Thessalonians is all about when Jesus comes back. And that's what that song Midnight Cry is about. You don't happen to have your phone, do you?
I do.
Oh, you want? Let's
sure, absolutely.
Well, we got 2 minutes, so maybe if we.
It's called Midnight Cry.
Midnight Cry. We'll play just a little bit of it. Yeah. And while she's looking that up for us, I want to read the Proverbs to you. This is so good. This is words to live by. Don't demand an audience with a king or push for a place among the great. It's better to wait for an invitation to the head of the table than to be sent away in public service. See, we should never be saying, oh, me. Hey, here, me, let me pray. Let me be the leader. Let me. That's not God's way. That is not God's way. Promotion comes from him. He's the one that'll recognize us. And the timing will always be perfect. If we're always saying, oh, me, I want to lead. I want to speak. I want to sing. I want to pray. I want a promotion. Then we're not following God's guidance. God will promote us exactly when we're supposed to be promoted. And for us to want it 1 second too soon is bringing calamity on ourselves and our family and all that we touch instead of blessings. So, good word for us. And with that, I'll play this song and then I'll just hit the off buttons. Midnight Cry, I'm going to play the one by Michael English, and just hope you'll be blessed as I'm blessed by this song. Thank you for joining us on our one-year Bible study, reading all the way through the Bible from front cover to back cover in a year's time. It's quite an accomplishment. You will be changed. go, Cindy. Love you, Jamie. Hi, Sandy. Oh. I've already got goosebumps, guys. Love to hear Tammy sing this song. Tammy, come to our retreat in April and sing this for us. See, for me, that's already happened in my heart because he's in my heart. That midnight cry has already happened. I was certainly dead. No more. I was changed. I am being changed. See, I know I get to go to heaven, but I'm home with him right now. That's why this touches me so powerfully. Prophecy fulfilling. Love y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that.